the 1993 NBA Rookie of the Year.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, baby. A larger-than-life personality.
He felt like a movie star. The lights, cameras, action.
He was a giant. Dominant.
One of a kind.
Shaq was the total package.
The first rookie voted to an all-star team since Michael Jordan.
I had a little of my own razzmatazz to become me.
With the first pick in the 1992 NBA draft, the Orlando Magic selects Shaquille O'Neal.
In 1989, 1990, I had a show in Indianapolis called The Reggie Miller Show.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
And I just so happened to be interviewing Larry Bird. I was talking about Magic and Michael and Isaiah Thomas, all the guys that we were currently going against. He's like, I'm just telling you, there's a young kid. I've never seen anything like it before. Out of LSU, goes by the name of Shaquille O'Neal, and he's going to be the next big superstar.
I think the best player in the world right now is probably Shaquille O'Neal. Once he gets in the league and gets established, he's going to be the same type of player. He's right up there with the best of all of them right now. Thanks, Larry.
The first time I met Shaquille O'Neal was 1990, Georgia Tech playing against LSU. And I said, what the heck is this? 7'1", 288 pounds, running the floor like a deer.
And it was just like, well, he's bigger than everybody else and he's dominant and nobody has a chance. It was a man among kids.
Every now and then a college player comes along who seizes the attention of NBA brass league-wide.
Shaquille O'Neal is the best pure physical talent in America.
Thank God to Dick Vitale and Ernie Johnson, because when you get powerhouses like that saying, hey, Shaq is the best college player ever, if he decides to leave now, he'll definitely be the #1 pick. That helps a lot.
I first saw him play for Dale Brown at LSU, and it was clear that he was a potential huge NBA star.
Oh, my goodness, are they going crazy? That was serious. Oh.
I can remember trying to go pro at 17 years. My dad said, nope, we've been broke this long, we can be broke for 1 more year. And he wouldn't let me go. So he said, hey, money's not the most important thing. I need you to focus on your education. Because this life, money comes fast, everything comes fast. It could definitely throw you off track. But when you have 2 strong people and all they care about is family, you'll never get off track.
In our home, we stressed the importance of education. We had a plan in action, and the plan was that he would finish. We wanted him to complete the 4 years, but of course, that changed after 3 years. Along with this game. So by the time he got ready to go to the NBA, he was prepared and he was ready.
LSU Shaquille O'Neal will leave school 1 year early for the NBA draft.
I, Shaquille O'Neal, after careful deliberation, have decided to forego my senior year of eligibility at LSU. I'm not making this decision out of anger or frustration. I feel that in my heart it's time for a change and it's time for me to move on.
Watching Shaq, in college, and then hearing about him coming into the NBA, it was really like for us the second coming of Wilt Chamberlain. People would always say I'm the next Wilt Chamberlain. I think it was a great comparison because the day Philip Arthur Harrison taught me how to play basketball, he would always scream 3 names. He's like, oh, you're going to be dominant like Wilt Chamberlain. Everybody's going to fear you. You need an unstoppable move like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Never let a little man score on you. Make sure you're a shot blocker like Bill Russell. So from 9 to 18, 17, I heard these names, and I heard them every day. My father would, tell me their stats. And it was my job to emulate it or surpass it. So when they said I was the next Wilt Chamberlain, I think it was a great comparison because he was so dominant that they had to change the rules, and that's how I wanted to be.
I knew and I felt that he would go #1 because as far as I was concerned, he was the best thing out there.
That 92 draft had everybody in great anticipation because there was a big man coming out of LSU by the name of Shaquille O'Neal. He was going to be the prize catch.
Good afternoon and welcome to the NBA Draft Lottery.
The 3rd year of our existence, we won 21 games, which
pretty much assured us that we had the greatest chance of winning the grand prize of the lottery.
Everybody came with a Shaq jersey made up with their colors, with their logo. Every team was there with a Shaq jersey, waiting to display it in front of the masses. And generally, the jerseys were all there in paper bags. Nobody could see them, but they snuck them under the table and didn't want to be too presumptuous. And so the cards kept turning over, and our card wasn't turned over.
The third pick in the 1992 NBA draft goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
We're down to just the two of us, Charlotte and Orlando. And the tension in that room, oh boy, I can't even describe it.
I remember going to a sports bar, and we had our people at just a couple of tables, and all of a sudden that thing started coming down closer and closer, and you could feel the adrenaline and the excitement just rising.
We waited, and then I tried to get a little peek if I could see what was going on with that card at number 2, and it went over.
The second pick in the 1992 NBA draft goes to the Charlotte Hornets. And that means
Orlando's got it.
That the Orlando Magic will pick first in the 1992 NBA draft. Come on up, Pat.
Ping pong ball popped up, and Pat Williams had that big smile on his face. I knew immediately that everything was going to change in Orlando, that Shaq was going to put Magic basketball on the map.
Yeah, I knew I was going to be chosen number 1 because I knew the other 2 guys, they were good, but they weren't as dominant as me. And I had got the call from the Orlando Magic president because there was speculation that me and my agent were going to sabotage everything and so I could play in L.A. But he called me and asked me, he said, "Sir, would you like to play in Orlando?" And I said, "Yes, sir."
I was happy he was going to Orlando because I think Minnesota, one of the other teams, had a pick as well. And we wanted to go somewhere warm. So Orlando, Disney World, that was right up our alley, and we were so happy when we knew that he was going to Orlando.
The next thing you know, the draft was upon us. And draft night was a big event. We had it in the arena. About 10,000 people were there waiting to see us draft Shaquille O'Neal. There was no mystery, no secret, except there was a problem.
Pat Williams was our general manager, and he's getting ready to call in the pick to the NBA, and our phones go dead.
And I was trying to talk to somebody there, and the clock was ticking and ticking and ticking.
And he's like, how are we going to get the pick in? We're going to lose the first pick. The clock is going to run out. And I turned to him and I said, "I've got a cell phone." Well, by the way, back in those days, not many cell phones existed. I had one of those big brick, Motorola phones. And he said, "Well, go out into the bowl where you can get some reception and call in the pick."
He called into New York and said, Orlando's here, ready for the draft.
The Orlando Magic selects Shaquille O'Neal from Louisiana State University.
It was great. It was something I dreamed about ever since I took basketball seriously. Just dreamed about this time all the time.
My grandmother was at the draft. Her name was Scylla O'Neal, and my mother, Odessa, was at the draft. And the proud moments that they had with him, they kept telling him, "You can do anything you want. Just put in the work."
You've already set a record by flying 50 family members and friends here to join you at the draft. Are you going to take them all to Disney World with you and go to Orlando tomorrow?
Yes, I am. And I would like to say hi to Grandma Irma Harrison. I love you.
I was full of dreams and aspirations. And I can remember telling 20 people, "I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." And the only 2 people to ever believe me were Grandma Odessa and Grandma Scylla, a.k.a. Mama. Whatever dream I had, doesn't matter how outlandish or way out it was, they would say, "I know, I know." So getting drafted wasn't only about becoming a professional basketball player, it was about fulfilling the dreams that I promised my grandmother. Like, in order to get that done, I had to stay on the right path, I had to play a certain way, and I had to make a name for myself. So this moment right here and this smile is right here, it's like, I'm almost here, I'm getting drafted. Let's get to the contract negotiations. Let's get to the money. Because I already knew what I'm going to do with my first check. I'm going to take care of Mommy and Daddy, and I'm going to take care of both my grandmothers.
This is finally what he and his dad had talked about for so long, about if you do this and you do this and you take this step, you will get to this level. And I think he appreciated that and reveled in it.
As he said, what, me, the first pick?
Then it was just a question of, do you possibly live up to the hype? Can you meet all the expectations?
I never looked at it as a weight of expectation to be chose number one. It was just an opportunity for me to get inside the NBA. I knew once I entered inside the NBA that it was a possibility that I was definitely going to make a name for myself.
Hi, Mom, Dad, Grandma, Mom, love y'all.
My parents taught me a lot of things, but the most important thing they taught me is always dream. You know, I knew it was going to be the first pick. It happened. But after that, you don't really know what's coming. So you have to just be mentally prepared, physically prepared. And any problem that arises, you have to persevere, and you just have to go with the flow.
Now on NBA Inside Stuff.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ahmad Rashad. When I had heard about this guy, Shaquille O'Neal, I went out to L.A. to do a story on him. Hi, I'm Mr. Rashad here to see Mr. O'Neal, Shaquille O'Neal.
Ahmad Rashad, who's that? I heard of Felicia Rashad, Cosby Show.
And the way I wanted to do it was I wanted to come out and play him one-on-one. Well, now he went, man, you can, yeah, come on out, man. He started talking crazy. I was too old. I couldn't do this or that and the other. I'm going to show you what it's going to be like in the NBA. So I took the ball out first. I make a shot. You ready? Huh? Is that one? Now, I can tell he's really going to try to get me now, try to back me down and dunk on me and whatever it was. So I tried to put my hand on him, and he went to the basket. He dunked it as hard as he could. Give me your best. Let me see your best.
That was a place called Sports Club LA. This is where I would train every day, and I dunked on that goal 1,000,000 freaking times. I think this was the basketball gods allowing earthlings and humans to see the power that I was coming with. The funny thing is everybody, are you all right? Everybody was scared, but Ahmad, being the genius that he is, he's like, okay, you all right, you all right? Okay, roll the cameras, roll the cameras.
Wait, hold it. Is that all you got?
Yeah.
His agent was there. I thought the agent was gonna faint. I mean, everybody was like panicked. It's like, man, Shaquille O'Neal just came out here and hurt himself playing a mob shot in a one-on-one game. Why was that even happening? And quiet. Everybody was quiet.
His power was just unmatched. I mean, damn, he was pulling down the backboard when he dunked.
You knew you had a special player in Shaq, but until he stepped on the floor, you didn't know how special he truly was going to be as a player. And you knew it immediately from that very first game.
I prepared for my first game like I always prepare. Go to shoot around, get home by 11. I'm going to either have spaghetti, pizza, or club sandwich, french fries, and a pineapple soda. So I would do that. I have to be in bed by 1. Got to take a nap. Not really a nap, it's like a meditative dream. I know who I'm playing. I see myself dunking on them. I see the crowd going crazy. I just see myself going to work. So I would always think about that till I fell asleep. And then when I wake up, I take a cold shower. On the way to the game, listen to my favorite rap tune, not even think about the game. And then when I get to the game, start thinking about the game.
I remember telling him to go have a good time. And we had a ritual before every game. I would give him a kiss, and then I would give him bubble gum.
Who'd you guys come to see tonight?
There were so many eyeballs on that game. There was so much anticipation about it.
Everyone on their feet as Shaquille O'Neal gives it a go as a pro for the first time tonight.
As I recall, he was just everywhere.
O'Neal the rebound. Now the Magic with a final shot chance. O'Neal runs the floor. Takes it all the way. Forciani wrap around the Royal miss. O'Neal did.
There was no adjustment period for Shaq. I mean, he came right onto the court, dominated immediately.
The thing that really was just incredible is to see Shaq get a rebound on the other end and lead the fast break down to the other side. Now, no one did that. No big man.
Falling away. Go. Rebound O'Neal. He's going to put her on the floor again. No look to Bowie.
Is he 7 foot or what? I mean, my goodness.
I didn't know what to expect. I knew that he was a force to reckon with, and I knew that he was very agile and quick on his feet, but I didn't know how he was going to put it together.
Cycling unchallenged on that rebound. Shaquille knocked it away from him.
He's one of those generational kind of players, so you knew right away that this guy's, you know, the potential is limitless.
Ooh, the league is in trouble. He put the league on notice. You know, he came out with tremendous energy, played with such force. You just knew he was going to be special.
Anderson spins, fires, off the glass, won't go. O'Neal's tap is good. There, that's a new rookie record of 18 rebounds.
You just saw a glimpse on that first night of what was to come, of one of the greatest players in NBA history, and what was to come for our franchise in that, you know, he was going to lead us to places that we had never been before.
I wanted people to know and fear and understand this young guy named Shaquille O'Neal is coming.
They say that you're the next man in line for that torch. Dr. J passed it to myself. I had to pass it to Michael Jordan. Now it's Shaquille O'Neal's turn. Are you ready to take all that weight and put it on your shoulders?
I hope I am. I'm just going to continue to play hard and dominate, and whatever happens, happens. Well, the expectation I placed on myself was to take everybody's spot. You know, it's two ways I look at jealousy. There's a professional jealousy where you see somebody and they have something and you say, I want that. And there's the envious jealousy, which I never had, but all the guys that were ahead of me, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, I want what they had. They had the respect from everybody. I wanted all that, and I was coming to take it.
Now wants to go to work on Purdue. Ram well out of the way. Lob. Oh! Here it is. Stopped by Shaquille.
If he gets the ball anywhere within the vicinity of the rim, you're done. You can have three people on him, and he can swat them away like flies.
Watch out, Rim. Here is Shaq, baby.
He had a chip on his shoulder from the get-go, and I think he wanted to prove himself. At the time, there was Patrick Ewing, there was Rick Smits, there was Hakeem Olajuwon, there was David Robinson. He wanted to come in and show, arguably, why he was the best.
He wasn't intimidated by anyone. Great respect for the game and for other players. Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, you know, were the standard bearers, but not afraid to drop Michael on his backside.
Jordan turns and faces. Shot clock at 7, 6, and a... Whoa! Shaquille that might really hit him hard. MJ is down.
Michael told me that he was driving to the basket and Shaq was under the basket, and he was hesitant to keep going because the guy was so big. And so he went up anyway, and Shaq knocked him down. Just blasted him, knocked him down.
Michael taking a beating here also. Shaquille is there and said welcome.
And it hurt my heart, but I had to flagrant foul him and lay him out. And when I went to shake his hand and pick him up, he said, don't ever help nobody up. And he bounced right back up. And I knew then why he was the best player in the game.
Then you're starting to see, you know, a team that had won 21 games the year prior, basically the same, adding Shaquille O'Neal, that this is going to jump us up a little bit. We're going to compete night in and night out.
I wanted my rookie season to be legendary. I always knew I was a different type of player, so I knew that when I came in my rookie year, and it was going to be different from any other rookie. And it had to be that way.
He was the player of the week the first week he was in the league.
His first month was incredible. You got to remember that, you know, we got Shaq in the #1 pick because we weren't very good. You know, in one of our first years, we had set a record of 19 consecutive losses. And then all of a sudden, Shaq comes, you know, onto the team. First month out of the gate, we go 8-3, and we're like, wow, you know, we've never experienced anything like this before.
Orlando Magic, could you hold, please? Could you hold, please? We've been bombarded with tons of calls.
Yes, these all have to deal with Shaquille.
We really walked into the building most nights thinking we were going to win, and it was a completely different attitude for our franchise because we had lost so much in our first couple of years.
There you go. Whoa! That was a manly move.
In January, over the last 10 games, he had averaged 27 points, 14 rebounds, 60% field goals, and 65% free throws. You know, that really puts it into perspective how dominant Shaq was as a 20-year-old NBA rookie.
And here he is, Shaquille O'Neal with the Magic, the Suns. Good one here at the America West Arena.
This was an NBC nationally televised game, a Phoenix Sun team that featured Charles Barkley in his prime. So there were a lot of eyeballs on Shaq's first national televised game.
I'm not going to stick my hand up there and get no poster shot. No, I'm not crazy. I've been around too long to go up try to block his dunk.
Whenever you're playing against your idols, you see my idol Charles Barkley there. I had to send him a message. Charles was ferocious. Charles used to talk a lot of smack. Charles used to throw his elbows, and every time Charles got a chance to throw it down on the break, he threw it down really hard. So every time I dunked, I wanted to dunk very, very hard. So a lot of times when you dunk hard, you can injure or break the apparatus.
As Hill follows and almost does bring down the entire backboard. That's one we haven't seen.
Like 3 minutes into the game, this happens. He goes up for a dunk, and the basket, very slowly, it wasn't a crash, a thunderous bring down the backboard. It was just a very gradual, you could hear it and see it snap. And then the backboard just starts tilting slowly, and then it just finally winds up parallel to the ground.
When you look at it, it's like he broke the hydraulics. Broken the rim said, whoa. It's like it went down and came back up and went back down again. I was like, is he that strong?
I said, there goes another one. What can I say?
You're literally sitting around looking at other people like, did this really just happen? Is that possible? Did he snap the steel hook that snaps onto the concrete under the court? But that's what he had done. And fortunately, I recall Phoenix had a backup backboard that they anticipated that this possibly could happen.
The new structure that they were rolling in, they are going to replace the entire structure.
But it still took them about 35 or 40 minutes to wheel that thing out. I understand they had welders in the back.
Maintenance man wasn't too happy, though, because he had to come out and do some work.
Trying to repair the one that Shaq snapped, just in case he broke another one.
Out of all the emergency plans that you have, was this one of them at all?
We knew who was in town, and we had the extra unit back here, but we were all enjoying the game. We didn't think that would happen.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that. Seen him get damaged and rims broken and stuff, but that was one I'm sure we'll see on some highlight films.
You know, the Shaquille effect, every NBA team from that point on had a couple of extra goals out in the back for cases just like that.
He knew that there was going to be a day that he was going to bring that basket down because it wasn't as strong as he was.
You know him simply as Shaq. From the Orlando Magic, Shaquille O'Neal.
He was also the first rookie to be voted as a starter on the All-Star team since Michael Jordan almost a decade earlier.
The man wants to be a point guard.
Oh, get out of here.
Well, that's rare. Rookies who end up starting or voted onto their starting team on an All-Star game, boy, that doesn't happen.
Shaq goes up and sends it down.
Woo! First All-Star, you know, in the history of our team, and it was just another one of those episodes, events that happened, you know, during the course of Shaq's rookie year that really brought the Orlando Magic onto the national spotlight.
You know, my father always taught me that, you know, people pay a lot of money to see you perform. Make sure you give them a good show.
We on the elevator. It's me, Shaq, and I think Dumars was on the elevator with me. And as we're going down, you know, Shaq is, you know, he's laughing and he's making... Then the elevator stops and some other people get on. And all of a sudden, Shaq, who's like, nah. And then, I mean, it was like he was in the military. His back got straight. You know, he didn't let... And so I'm looking at this woman who's kind of like in the front, right? And Shaq is like standing here. She's kind of on the side. And she's like looking at him. And he's looking at her, and I said, is that your mother? he goes, yes, Mr. Thomas. Yes, Mr. Thomas, that's my mother. You know, and he introduced me to his mom. But his whole personality had changed. It was like, he was on the elevator, yeah. As soon as that woman walked in, he was like,
It's a true story. Listen, I'm a mama's boy. Everybody knows that. And my mother knows I'm silly, but it's not good business to be silly in front of your mother. So when she's there, I have to straighten out. And it was even worse when my father was alive. Like, he stepped in the room, you got to get military, you know, legs straight, arms on the side, shoulders back, head up, sometimes eye contact, sometimes not. And, you know, that's basically what respect is all about. SHAQIEMOUSE. I enjoy being funny. I enjoy entertaining people. That's what it's all about, having fun. You know, I have that switch to where off the court, I'm Bambi. As soon as I flip that switch and get on the court, I'm Terminator.
He wanted to be one of the greatest players of all time, and he wanted to be one of the greatest entertainers of all time.
Shaq wasn't afraid to get out. You know, he would just go to the mall, you know, without an escort or, you know, without security, and people embraced that.
We had some great savvy vets around, but no one had cameras following them to the locker room. Nobody had cameras following their car as soon as they pulled up to the arena.
The Shaq looked like the Pied Piper. Kids following him into the arena.
Every city that we went to, we had huge crowds of people waiting for us at our hotel when we arrived.
I remember one Western Conference trip, his rookie year, he was kind of tired of, you know, 50, 100 people being there and, you know, and having it 2 and 3 in the morning to sign autographs or feeling like he needed to. And he had dressed up as a Rastafarian, and his intent was to exit the bus, go down the steps, into the hotel lobby, and no one would recognize Shaquille O'Neal, and he pulled it off.
Yeah, I put on a wig, I dropped my shoulders, and I had my arm around D, he had his arm around me, and we just walked through a crowd of people, nobody even saw us.
You know, if there was ever an opportunity for Shaq to get you, oh, he would get you.
Yo, it's on?
It's on.
Make sure it's on.
All right, what's up?
Before anybody talks to me, they have to sign right here. Come on, just sign right there.
When I was young, it was either be a bully or make people laugh, and had a very unfortunate incident being a bully one time that could have cost me everything, so I converted 100% to being a class clown, and it's been working for me.
The fact is, Shaquille O'Neal is the next megastar in the NBA, and there can be only one center of attention.
Slate. Okay, quiet, please. Roll him. Rolling. Action.
It was a myth that big guys never sell. So doing my Reebok commercials, I always wanted the clause that I will be in control of creative control, and I would have major input on the commercials. So if you go back to this commercial, don't fake the funk on the nasty dunk. This was around the same time Terminator 2 came out. So that's where I got this idea from. Because in Terminator 2, that plasma, whatever you call it, so I wanted to open this, and when you open it, you see all the greats. All the greats. I wanted them to know that, hey, if you got a young guy coming, they're comparing him to you, and if things go well, he will be the next one of you. See, a lot of my commercials are very humorous and funny, but I want people to know and understand, I know who the greats are, I know what they've done, I'm coming to do the same thing. So that's why I had the greatest big man to ever play a game in this commercial.
Feels kind of great. 4 legends here: Bill Walton, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, and Kareem. Yeah, it feels kind of good. I mean, most kids don't get to meet any of those guys. I'm meeting all 4 of them in one day.
Let's reenact it for just a little bit. I know I don't look like Bill Russell, but what's the password?
Don't fake the funk on a nasty dunk. Bye.
Great going, Shaquille O'Neal.
I've never seen a guy come in and be so involved and have so many other interests outside of basketball. His music.
I am a true what? I am a true Fouché. I'm a true what? I am a true Fouché. Someone asked me what my favorite rap group was. I said Foushnickens.
Can we rock? What's up, Doc? Can we rock? What's up, Doc? Can we rock? What's up, Doc?
Can you rock? Yeah, what's up, Doc? Can you rock? Yeah, what's up, Doc? I loved hearing him rap because every word you could understand and every word told a story. And he also has a song about I'm being outstanding. The song was saying, I'm outstanding. I was born 3/6/72. Think it's on a Wednesday. Held to the moon just like Kunta Kinte. If you get the opportunity, listen to some of his music. You can hear it and understand it. And it's going to bring a story to life.
You know, that line she talked about, held to the moon, She said when I was born, her and her grandmother helped me to the moon, and they prayed. And they prayed, and they prayed, and they prayed. And my grandmother, my great-grandmother always used to look at me and say, this one is special. So, you know, rapping for me was easy because I was able to get out of myself and be whoever I wanted to be. You see, I got the chain on, so I probably wanted to be like LL Cool J. I used to write rhymes on my notepad while I was trying to do homework. So I've just been rapping as long as I've been playing basketball. It just came very, very natural to me.
We got a call that Shaquille O'Neal was a big fan of ours. My other two group members were fans of him because they watched basketball. They were the ones that were just like, yo, Shaquille, you know, he thinks that, you know, our music is dope and that you're dope.
I was definitely big fans of them, and I called Arsenio Hall first. I brokered a deal. So Arsenio, in order for me to be on your show, you have to let me rap in my favorite rap group. They never been on Arsenio, and they was like, yeah, we love to be on Arsenio. Thanks, big guy.
They flew us out to Orlando, and we went to one of his games.
I'm a true, what? I am a true cool snitch. What up, man? How you doing? What up? Y'all hanging with me tonight? Yeah. Okay, cool.
After the basketball game, we started talking about music. I didn't know he was that into music. I remember we spoke about doing a record together. Went to the studio. I was like, all right, so we're going to pull up this record called What's Up, Doc, which was the perfect record at the time because basketball player, you know, the song, Space Jams, everything. We played the record for him. He looked at us and he was like, all right, I'll get on the record. I was like, okay, so let's see how this is going to happen.
I ain't no joke because I slam it, jam it, make sure it's broke. Instead of slamming and I slam it, because we're going to do some overdubs like slam it, jam it, make sure it's broke. All right.
Jumping in the studio for the first time, it was different because they teach you the fine arts. You can, when you make a mistake, you can go back and you can punch in, you can do this. It's actually easier in the studio than it is to do it at home by yourself. You know, once I knew I could take my time with it, I knew that, you know, hopefully that all my products would come out good.
Never forgot, he took out a tattered piece of paper. It looked like he was writing all over this paper, but me looking at that just made me understand how focused he was on making sure that his verse was perfect. Shaq walked up into the booth and he owned it.
I'm the hooper.
With the song, and I played it for the A&Rs at the company. They lost their mind. They thought that I was gonna come back with like the Super Bowl shuffle. Well, I was like, nah, it's 10 times better than that. It blew their mind. It blew their mind so much that the following week, they started preparing for us to do the video.
We did the song in one night, we practiced it, and then next time I saw him, I was in LA. And my thing with performing is if you come to watch me perform, it's my job to give you your money's worth.
I remember that night. It was so much fun to just see a live performance and have Shaquille participate in it.
Shaq Fool's in the house. Shaq Fool. Shaq Fool's in the house. Shaq Fool. Shaq.
My family and the people that I grew up with was like, yo, did you know what you just did? I was like, I did a record with Shaquille O'Neal. They was like, no, you meshed the two, hip-hop and sports. And he was the right person because he embraced it properly and he was not a novice at what he did. It was incredible.
1 million albums. First professional athlete ever.
Let me tell you something. I really hate saying this. He was actually a very good rapper. He had not just a What's Up Doc with the Foodsnickins. Like, he actually had probably 4 or 5 songs that I thought was actually pretty.
Yeah, he put a line in there about me and Kristen Layton. I heard it. Yeah, his rap song. Yeah. Hilarious.
It wasn't a joke. He was a legitimate rapper who happened to be 7 feet tall, you know, and he could dance.
Let me tell you something. Somebody who's 7 foot plus, 300 pound plus, breakdancing is not an easy feat. And rapping was just part of his whole shtick, acting and rapping. And, you know, he's a very talented guy, and he puts something in his head, he's gonna go do it.
He had a vision for himself. Shaq was really the first NBA player to bring entertainment and pop culture into his everyday life and into his persona and into the way that he portrayed himself.
Well, at that time, you had Patrick Ewing, Elijah Wan, David Robertson. Those guys were looked at as being ultra professional. Afraid to show their personality, afraid to smile. Like you had to have a certain toughness to be a 7-footer. Shaq changed all that.
Now you know I'm a professional rapper. My main man Shaq got a funky black Benz.
Then for Shaq equals a lot of millions.
Oh my.
I wanted to change the mold, change the stereotype, and possibly open up the doors for any other big guys. It's not about turning the big man into cool, it's about people saying big guys don't sell. Well, I was like, well, I'm not a big guy, I'm Shaq, and I'm definitely going to sell.
Would you have voted for yourself over Patrick?
Definitely.
Why?
Why? Just because, Shaq is a good player. He dominates, he, dunks hard.
What's up, man?
This right here, I'm hanging out with my idol at the All-Star game, and I'm actually nervous because that's Patrick Ewing. That first All-Star game, I'm there and he's there. It's just validated that I wasn't as good as him, but I was pretty good for a youngster. But he was always my favorite player. That's why I wore 33 in high school and in college, because of Patrick Ewing.
I remember the first time I got to play against him, Will Chamberlain was there. Will tossed the ball up.
What could be a symbol of the next era in the center position in the NBA. Will Chamberlain out with Patrick Ewing and Shaquille O'Neal for a ceremonial opening tip.
I think he had a great game against us that night. I think I got in foul trouble. Herb Williams, Charles Oakley all had to chip in, and even Anthony Mason to play him. But that's just how big and dominant he was.
O'Neal. Ewing looks as if he was punched by a right cross.
We threw everything at him but the kitchen sink.
I remember just teasing Patrick, myself and John, we were teasing him about going up against Shaq.
Shaq really looked forward to those head-to-head battles against the existing centers.
You don't meet Shaq until a week from today in a game on NBC. What did Paul Westphal tell you guys, though? What advice did he have for you?
Just said keep that big body out of the paint. He's big and strong, and everybody comments on how quick he is. And my whole thing is probably just to keep him away and try to make them shoot that jump shot. But if that fella gets around that basket, I got a feeling I'm going to have to move out the way so I don't get in any dunk pictures or anything.
David Robinson stole my shine in San Antonio. When I was in San Antonio High School, reaping all the headlines, they drafted David Robinson, and he was the best big man in Texas. I learned a lot from him. I learned that, hey, you should run the floor, create easy baskets for yourself. But whenever you see somebody great, you should take a little bit of what they have and add it to your own sauce.
I loved hearing later the story about how he used to kind of diss on David Robinson and made it the story that David Robinson didn't sign an autograph for him when he was a high school kid in San Antonio.
Competitively, he played for those big moments. And it seemed like every time that there was a big game, Shaq stepped up when everything was on the line.
He used to go at them dudes.
We had the size, we had the athleticism, but we wasn't as big and as powerful as Shaq was.
I played against Patrick Ewing, who was great. David Robinson was great. Same thing with Akeem Olajuwon. I played against and with Akeem Olajuwon, but he was not the physically imposing person that Shaq is.
Sky is the limit to his potential. I mean, he's an excellent player. He's a true big man.
You want to prove, if you're Shaquille O'Neal, that you belong in that company. Part of what makes any great athlete great is personal belief. You can't get into that environment wondering if you're good enough. You have to take the floor saying, I am good enough. And now I'm going to prove that I'm good enough.
Shaquille, wow. I've never seen that. Hold on to the roof. The Shaq attack.
I meant to do that because Derek Coleman is the only man that ever dunked on me in the game. So I was so mad every time I played Jersey, I wanted to let them know that, hey, never getting dunked on again. And I'm going to brutalize whoever you put on me. So when the rim came down, that's exactly what I was trying to do.
Let's jump to the phones, and Eddie is called in. Eddie, what's going on tonight?
The Shaq man brought it down again, huh? My question is Shaq going to get penalized for this? Are they going to give him a T for it, or how does he get away with it?
Yeah, there's no rule against, being strong and bringing baskets down.
Unlike Phoenix, the backboard came down in a fury. And the 24-second clock actually hit Shaq on the head on the way down. Shinsis barely got out of the way in time. And I remember Shaq saying after the game, this one was better than Phoenix. I snapped this one in half. This one took about 45 minutes. They were prepared, too, because it had already happened in Phoenix.
Backup basket ready just in case because the Shaq man was there.
Now we've got this dominating force in Shaquille O'Neal. So we go into our last game and we're in a tiebreaker situation. It's depending on a lot of different things. And, you know, the emotion of, well, you know, here's our first chance, you know, in our 4th year of the franchise. Now we've got a chance to be in the playoffs for the first time.
So we win our final home game, and we go back in the locker room, and now it was a waiting game.
If the Pacers do win and you guys are out, how important was it for you to finish on a high note in order to make your offseason enjoyable?
Well, I think it was a good year. I don't think no one really expected us, you know, to do this well.
Come on, Miami. We just missed the playoffs by like the 5th tiebreaker.
You know, it turned from joy and happiness, you know, to disappointment, with sadness, and then a bit of anger, you know, quite frankly, you know, because we had been through an incredible season that was full of highlights, and we didn't accomplish what is the ultimate team goal, and that is to get to the playoffs.
We were disappointed that we didn't make the playoffs, but on the other hand, it was great progress from where we had been as a team, and we knew that that was just the beginning of better things to come in the future years.
All I remember is my rookie season, my team made it to the playoffs, his didn't. So that should have validated me getting Rookie of the Year because my numbers were just as good as his.
That's the type of guy Alonzo Mourning was. He was very competitive, and every time I played him, I tried to get the best of him. But listen, he could have been the #1 pick, but I knew that with him being the 2nd pick, he was always going to be on my tail. So I knew that when I played against him, I had to play hard, I had to try to dominate him. And he was tough.
Everybody wanted to see us compete against one another because we were 1 and 2. It was worth the price of admission when we played.
Oh, what a dunk. Hey, look at him look back at Mourning.
Shaq and Alonzo Mourning, you know, were contemporaries. And there was always discussion, you know, who would you rather have, Shaq or Mourning? And Shaq would always win out, but at least those were intense discussions, and Alonzo Mourning felt he could hold his own with Shaq. So those battles early on were memorable.
Don't get me wrong, Alonzo Mourning, Christian Laettner, great players, all-stars in their own right. But when you have great players like that all coming into the league together, I think it creates a rivalry.
I don't remember a year in which there have been so many good rookies who, under normal conditions, would have been deserving of this award. Alonzo Mourning is a marvelous young player, and in any other year would probably be a shoo-in to be Rookie of the Year. You could argue that Christian Laettner had Rookie of the Year numbers with the season he had at Minnesota. Jimmy Jackson, had he played the full year, would have turned up Rookie of the Year numbers in Dallas. So this has been an exceptional year of young players. So for Shaquille to win it makes the honor even more sweet. And to win it in almost a total landslide makes it even more significant.
I knew I was the Rookie of the Year from game one. This was my mission to let everybody know it was coming. I wasn't going to take any time off. I was going to learn as quickly as I can, dominate as much as I can. And again, when you got Laettner and Mourning behind you, that's extra motivation. So all that stuff about they had a good season, yeah, they had a good season, but not as good as mine.
When I retire and have children, I can tell my son, I was bad.
It just gave me validation that I was the best of the rookie class. You know, I had experience with being the top and then the next year going straight to the bottom. So I had experience in working hard and trying to get to that level. So I was the man in high school, but then when I got to the college, I had to start all over. I was the man in college. Then when I got to the NBA, I had to start all over. So I had the blueprint on how to be at the bottom, work your tail off, and get to the top.
When Shaquille received the award for Rookie of the Year, I believe that he felt that that was another major accomplishment for him. Because I saw all of the dreams that he put in place for himself. I saw him work to make those dreams come true.
You know, if you go third, fourth, fifth, like you expected to be a really good player or a great player. But when you're the #1 pick in the draft, there's a tremendous amount of pressure on you because, #1, people expect you to be great, but also you're getting judged by everybody who was picked after you. So when you're the #1 pick in the draft, man, it's a tremendous amount of pressure, and he lived up to the hype.
I've seen a lot of players take the sport serious, but I think that his mission was different. That I remember in an interview, he said that somebody told him that if he messed around with his position, that his mom would lose her house. So I think that that's why he played with that intensity.
He had the power, he had the broken backboards, he had the handles, he had the smile, he had the charisma, he had the album, he had everything. And so when you got all that going on, folks can't take their eyes off of you.
He had star written all over him from the beginning. Plus, he had a cool nickname. You know, he had it all going on. And he lands in the middle of a great, great era in the NBA. His rookie year is the immediate aftermath of the Dream Team at the Olympics in Barcelona. And it isn't just Michael Jordan. Michael is the biggest star in that firmament. But there's so many others. There's Pippen, and there's Dominique Wilkins, and there's Charles Barkley, and there's Karl Malone, and there's John Stockton, and there's Isaiah Thomas. There's still Larry Bird at the tail end of his career, and Magic Johnson is just finishing up. The league had so many marquee stars and so many distinctive teams, and then along comes Shaq to be added to that.
The things that he accomplished, carrying the Magic from 21 wins to 41 wins, almost making the playoffs, All-Star, All-NBA. I mean, to see a 20-year-old do that was, you know, you understood this was a generational player. This was a player that doesn't come along every year, every 10 years.
I was asked like a couple of years ago, like, if I could come back and play and be anybody, who would I want to be? And I said, I want to be Shaq, because I would want to just one day be able to just like get on the rim and just throw it down and how that must just, then just rip it and tear it down and be like, ah!
If you had turned this script in to a Hollywood filmmaker and said, hey, here comes this bigger-than-life character who's going to tear down the entire basket support, and there's going to be wires hanging, and people are going to be running out of the way to not get hit by the backboard. And they said, send that back to rewrite, too corny, won't happen. Well, it did happen. When you're doing shows that are about the NBA, or you're doing highlights around the league, it's like, what did Shaq do? That's the kind of first-year impact he had. Everybody wanted to know, what's he up to? What did he do tonight?
What's one advice I'd give to my younger self? I would say get ready to have fun. Get ready to fulfill all your dreams. Get ready to take criticism. Get ready to have some heartaches. Get ready to win some championships. And get ready to go 19, 20 years.
Hey, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
This guy sucks, man. Overrated, flash in the pan, never gonna amount to. I had to lie for the camera guy. This dude gonna flash in the pan. Overrated. Overrated.